Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Astral Stew.
Astral Stew, the Love Edition.
The Love Edition.
Yeah, LUV in the house.
SPACE. Can't
Yeah.
spell love without it.
Shout out to the best kind of love, Sharita Love. Rest in peace, Sharita. We love you. Yeah, what's up, guys? It's been I haven't seen you guys since last year.
Well, you gotta say something really sad and then be like, and how you been?
Yeah. And how you been, everybody?
Yeah. You just throw this out there to, make you
because Sharita, that's what Sharita would want us to do, is to give her a little respect like we did and then have fun again, because she is all about the Sharita love and having fun.
Turn on the dial. I can do it.
So even though the audience has seen us since 2022, we have not seen each other since 2021 collectively. So
Ruth,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
it has.
So you got
stereo. That just happened to me in stereo.
You got some alien love going on there, Stefan.
I do, as do you, kind of. I'm not sure what yours is. Yours is like Swamp Thing that has become New Age. And Santosh here has a holodeck.
A hollow sweet.
Holosuite.
Which is
should have known it was Quark.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's a Cardassian. Yeah, it's a Cardassian holosuite. Yeah. I just, I came prepared for the love theme too.
Yeah. Hey, whatever you program in there is. Yep. So it's true. You just need some gold pressed latinum.
At the shores of Riza going on here.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, tonight's topics, as per our theme, are all about what, Stefan?
Love. Love and sex, really.
Love
some
and sex
people
and
and release. It was my month, and I was like, well, it's February. I hate to do the stereotypical thing for February. Why would we talk about presidents a whole bunch? So I figured let's do love. Nobody ever talks about love in February.
No, it's often slept on.
It's like they should have a holiday in February for love.
They should. They
cool
should. A non-Catholic holiday.
But how would you know? You'd have to show it somehow.
Yeah.
Like, big boxes of chocolate shaped in like hearts or something.
Chocolate.
I'd like to celebrate it on the day of a massacre. I think that's really romantic.
Oh,
that could, if you're in Chicago, you could do that. But some people celebrate love very, very differently. And so for my first topic tonight, I want to talk about a good friend of ours that's not a real friend because we've never talked to him before, but Josh and I have talked about him, is David Huggins.
I was wondering if that was going to be your first one.
So on Fearscape, we covered David Huggins. There's a really great documentary. I highly recommend everybody watch it, called Love and Saucers. And it's about an abductee that was abducted. Surprise. He was forced to copulate with an alien woman. Do you remember what her name was, Josh?
Nope.
Something like, I think it was like a Greek name or something. I can't remember. Like Medea.
Some Andorran name.
Something like that. Some Andorran name. But anyway, so what I wanted to talk about on this first question, talking about David Huggins, is it made me think, when I was thinking about kind of the astral things or UFO related things that we tend to talk about, what's the first thing I think of? And it was having sex with an alien, kind of the hybrid program, things like that, that interbreeding between species that we've been seeing things like David Huggins talking about. And the reason I bring it up is not just for the sex, because he ended up falling in love with her. This alien, she had he makes all these paintings. They're beautiful. And she's got the big green alien eyes, but she got long black hair.
They're not green, they're blue.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love happens. So this is almost in a sense that Stockholm syndrome, right?
Well, no, I think that even in his tale of his encounters, because he ends up fathering like several offspring, and the offspring are like dying, and so she comes to him and brings him to them to help keep the offspring from, like, there's something about the touch and companionship, even of offspring, that to like keep them from dying. So, I would say that she probably even, would you call it love? I don't know, but she has some level of emotional attachment to him as well.
Oh yeah, it is very much implied, and I don't even really want to focus on David Huggins as much as I just want to focus on that hybridization program that we hear some abductees talk about, and whether or not even Romanek talked about the hybridization program where he had sex with aliens and humans, which humans part is my next one. But is there room for love in a Stockholm syndrome alien type environment? Because he was forced to have sex with her, but through that companionship, which of course begs the question, was there telepathy there? Was he kind of made to feel that way or what? I don't know.
It's only currently a little off because arranged marriages were quite a popular thing and still exist.
Oh yeah.
And that has nothing to do with love right. You are still expected to copulate. Yep. So we still practice something similar on the planet. It's not so long since we've been all this find the one you love, soulmate.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And even worse.
You know what it fucks up for me is like, you got to struggle with finding a soulmate, but then what if your soulmate ain't even in this galaxy? What you supposed to do?
Right. Well, and that's David Huggins' issue. Is one of the reasons he paints is he misses her so much all the time, and he just longs for the day when they come again, because apparently they keep coming. And so we are talking about love right now, Josh, not lust. David Huggins is in love. You will give him a big Huggins, okay?
But no, it may be, what, I know you're not talking about his specific case, but there have been other cases that talk about this in that kind of hybridization program that talk about it, that there are other types of aliens that are there. Like in his case, there were like 3 different kinds. There were like the small gray guys, the tall gray guys, the furry insect guys, the short little furry ones, and then her cast, right? So I use the word cast there because I wonder if she isn't some sort of a, love cast, or like that's their sole purpose is to.
Right. That's what I was saying is like, what if, if that's the case in that regards, and what if you're not so lucky, right? And then we always talk about, people are like, oh, I'm a hybrid. Hell, we've been through it ourselves, but we don't ever see like a true mixture of alien species with humanity, because all the hybrids that I've seen on YouTube and places like that still just look like you and I, And so does that just mean, and boy, this harkens back to an old Happy Gas movie that we did. Do they have weak genes? Like, are their genes just weak and they're mad because it's
a lot of the context given, or I guess the reason for the hybridization is not usually for the hybridization of us, but because their civilization is missing some aspect that only our DNA can provide.
Well, and that could make sense too. The ones that look too human, they send them back. They're like, you got too much human DNA.
What if you just answer why there's a platypus? That's what a true human space alien hybrid looks like.
I am now moving on. That's where we're at, because you got me. I'm like, yep.
Maybe that's where octopuses comes from.
Octopodes.
But this leads into my next bit, which was when it happens between humans as well. So it doesn't have to be, what do you guys think about why this happened? But we can just talk about this. This like Romanek. So Romanek's thing wasn't as much hybridization as much as it was copulating with other abducted humans. And he did fall in love with her as well. But he supposedly has kids all over the earth. He talks about, heck, we had a woman contact us that said she was his daughter.
Yeah. So is your question, because you've asked it a couple of times, I want to make sure, is it, can you find love in Stockholm syndrome?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to move away from the question per se and just talk about the topic. But yeah, that is definitely part of both of those, is this finding love in a Stockholm syndrome, but in outer space, right? Like in this.
If you're an abductee, how can you say your feelings are actually love when you're in this situation of being an abductee?
Yeah, and especially when we're seeing a lot more theory on the aliens that are doomed to abducting having telepathic powers, right? Can emotion
well,
be
somebody's got to bring it at one point the level of sentience as well, but I'm waiting for that to come back in, as you know what I'm saying, like, because the thing I hear in my mind is just some redneck ass voice saying, you know, then people be marrying dogs, that's bestiality, other species, do. And I'm like, so I start, or at least think it should be included, that some level of sentience, and we would, I guess, would we want them in their adult form if they have adult forms, like change body shapes? I'm digressing, but
no. So I want to take a step back, because I want to understand your all's definition of love. Is it the Oxford definition of love, is just having, you know, deep feelings for someone, or is it something more? Because I
believe it's something more. It's not only a transcendental thing, but we are all operating on the fundamental thing that love isn't just a human construct, right? Alien love only exists if they can experience love of some sort. So I like this question. Like,
yeah, and we'll further explore that in my next bit as well. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
don't want to jump the gun.
Do we talk about
probing?
Oh, yeah. I thought they were, needing it as a charging station.
But that's what they hook up to humans. They put it in, and it's got
that's why it's called a butt plug.
That's why it's called a butt plug. How do you think they power the probes for the other guy there?
Have you watched the new Matrix? There's one going up there.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, do we, what is love? I mean, that is as big of a question as the meaning of life, right? But I mean, just real feelings about someone, something, I don't know.
I mean, I guess regardless of how you got to the state of love, so whether it be Stockholm, you took a different approach, whatever the case may be, but you arrived at that state. I would say that it's still love. Somebody who didn't get there via Stockholm syndrome would probably look at it and say that that's false love or fake love or blah blah blah.
But what about drugged up love? Because like you can fall in love for a night with a person and all the right chemicals are in the system because they've been put there.
Or
how is that any different than the other?
Or abusive love. A little girl that's only been with her dad. I hate to say this, but like grew up with that trauma. And that traumatic love, is that love, or what? I mean, I don't know.
I think we're getting into territory that we can't necessarily explain, but
well, that's love, Josh.
I know.
You asked the question. We can't explain love in general.
I know. So to say that you can't explain love, how can you ask the question of, is there love, real love in Stockholm syndrome?
Well, that's why I said I want to move away from that question and just talk about the topic.
but that's the root of your topic.
Sure.
Power, and we're also bordering power and manipulation right now too.
Right.
That just because sex is used doesn't mean that love's involved at all.
Right. And that's why I brought up David Huggins at first, because he does profess love. And then it's like the way that we experience love as humans, is that even a thing that exists in an alien culture? Right. Do they even have love, or have they become
consciousness as we define human consciousness?
Right. Or have they broken it down at like the Vulcans and they've said that it's just a synapse,
what's the one where they put on, Sandra Bullock puts on the headgear with Stallone? The shells and the thing.
Oh,
that movie.
Talk about Demolition Man.
Yeah. What if they have virtual sex, because it can involve more of the senses when the body.
Well, save that, because I have that
to a body.
I have that on my topic list as well. So psychic ass.
I'll calm down.
But no, it's just Santosh, to your point, something you said a while ago around chemical love, right? So is there, if it's just a matter of love as we experience it is just those chemical reactions of the brain in the the brain is very unique to, our brain is very unique to us. We don't know of anything else that has our type of brain. So let me lower it down a step. Do dogs experience the love the same way we do? Do cats experience it the same way we do? We see that our dogs and our cats, what we interpret as love us, but is it love or is it something else?
The personification of your pets, which is natural and fun.
To move to my next topic, because we're bleeding into some other things here, is you had said synapses, right? We're looking at things as being synapses, brain synapses, yada yada yada. Well, my question is let's talk about past lives. People talk about, we've been lovers in so many past lives. I've loved him endlessly. Blah 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 blah. Can people mate and love in every lifetime? Is that something that carries over? So now if we're saying it's a synapse of the human body, the physical body, or is it part of that energetic body, the soul part?
It's like consciousness. It's intertwined with both.
I would say that it imprints, so in your past life, you have defining experiences with people or in places, and those experiences imprint on your energy body. And so when your energy body moves to the next life, you carry those imprints with you. And if you encounter those things again, they remind you. It's like a memory trigger. Hey, I've seen or felt or experienced this before. It's an imprint on my spiritual body. So then you say, I've loved this person before. I've loved this place before. I've always loved coffee. I've always loved caramel in my coffee, whatever because those things imprinted on you. They were so significant of an experience for you at that time, in that lifetime, they imprinted and carry forward.
How does it imprint?
Hot dog awesome. Like in that way, right? Hot dog awesome. Hot dog awesome is not truly awesome. It's not what awesome actually is.
Right.
We've just co-opted the word.
Yeah.
And so we use the word love a lot. I don't want to say overuse. That sounds all like jaded. But
to answer your Stefan, question,
please answer our Stefan.
To answer your question, Stefan, how does it imprint? I don't know. How does the spiritual body exist inside the physical body?
Yeah, I don't know. It just made me think. It's like, why do those specific things?
Through samskaras, karmas. You're just talking about action or reaction. Shit happens. The impression sticks around. That creates a drag energetically. That has to be, it doesn't have to be, but can be addressed at a different point. And
so you do. So both of you guys. I mean, I definitely do. But I was like, so both of you guys think. First of all, I mean, I'm just assuming you guys believe in multiple lifetimes, of course. But if that's the case, you guys do believe that love, you can have the same lover in every lifetime.
I mean, isn't that kind of the idea of love at first sight? It's so recognizable to you that it probably occurred at some other lifetime or some point in your past, that it's love at first sight. You just automatically know that's the person for you from some sort of instinctual.
That is a privilege and a blessing, not something everybody comes with.
No, I'm not saying everybody has it, but I mean, it's like,
and I mean, not even saying that people have the same lover in every lifetime.
No,
but some could is a possibility.
Well, and if we're all the same thing living over, we're all technically just dating a different version of ourselves at some point.
So I mean, I believe that. I think that. The first time I saw a picture of my wife, I knew then that I was.
We did too when we saw the picture. No.
Unanimously.
So I will go into this next bit because I feel like this fits better along the line than the topic I had next, which is sliding and moving away from the alien stuff and past lives. And this kind of goes back to the animals thing, like you were talking about. So do cryptids love each other or mate for life? And I feel like Sasquatch is probably the most likely because gorillas are shown that they can do that. Dolphins.
What is that? I can hear the Jersey Devil screaming from rooms over. How dare you discount him?
Oh no, he
as the most. So you think Sasquatch love is the highest form of cryptid love?
No, not at all. I just feel like of the cryptids, that's the one that started because they seem the most human to me, right? And so we know that gorillas and things like that can tend to, but I mean, dolphins do as well. Dolphins can mate for life. Dolphins can be homosexual and mate for life. I mean, there's a number of creatures that'll mate for life. Birds. So cryptids, do they love? How, we talked about cryptid reproduction, but we didn't talk about the emotional side of things if it is a possibility.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next question. No.
Yeah, I believe cryptids can love. I think love, like I've already said, is a transcendental thing. So I think that it also exists off planet. And if it exists off planet, then it can exist between planets.
Yeah, I think it has to exist here more than just in humanity. I really do.
Yeah.
Even some scientists say that those, even the like penguins and stuff, the mate for life, it's not love, it's necessity, and things like that. And I'm like, I just don't know.
I mean, is love the central life force that provides balance for the earth?
I mean, because the things that they say, like, oh, they do it for necessity, and they're there to protect the female because they're protecting their eggs, and they're protecting the future selves of themselves, essentially, blah, blah. I'm like, isn't that just what we do too? We've just said it's emotion, instead of breaking it down to a science, which is that I want to protect Sarah. I want to make sure that this baby is going to be safe, and I will murder anyone that gets in her way. You know what I mean? It's like,
and you think you feel that way, but that could also be your hormonal flush,
right? And so, is emotion at the end of the day simply synapses? I mean, it all comes back to what we were just talking about, and I don't know.
I think it's deeper than that. I think that we can we can map and show that the body does certain things when it's in love, right? We can map and show that. But in my opinion, that's the body reacting to the state of love, not the body producing the state of love.
Yeah, we know what happens when the body produces the state of love.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
White out. Wait.
I don't think orgasm is the ultimate pleasure. I think we can hit better ones and bigger ones.
Oh yeah.
But
tantric orgasm.
So don't say those words like you know what that means.
I do know what it means.
I sat back and I was like, I was just gonna watch this happen. But yeah, so moving on then to the topic I skipped over was sex and love in the metaverse, right? So into a VR environment, and this to me immediately and I'll preface this in a second, or I'll post this in a second, but like, this is almost like the OG online dating. People that just met online, they never saw each other. They were on like AOL chat rooms, but they still got married. One lived in California, one lived in South Korea, and they, had this whole relationship their whole lives, blah, blah. Well, now it's even more so because now you can have an avatar. And if you remember that Christian radio program that I accidentally listened to that one day that I sent you guys the text for, where the lady was talking about the multiverse is coming for our kids, even though it's the metaverse, where she was talking about the reason she got mad, the whole thing started is because there were two people who had never met before. They fell in love. Their avatars fell in love. And there was an official wedding that took place by an actual preacher, that came in there. They did everything. They got licensed in each of their state and got married in a virtual reality church and all this stuff. And she's like, now CGI is getting married. What's next? Humans marrying donkeys, right? Like that's what it always comes down to for them. But yeah,
right, they always run to bestiality first,
right? But now the technology is getting more towards like Demolition Man, right? Where you can feel things like, I'm going to say this, and it's the last time I'm going to say these words on the show, but fleshlight. You have this fleshlight that can
Bluetooth controlled things,
right?
Dude.
Yeah. And you can connect that to the VR experience that you're having.
Product so much, but we can't have
sex
toy sponsors, right?
But you can can do that to feel what you're feeling in the metaverse. You can have a machine that makes you feel that, and that pretty soon we're just going to get to where all you have to do is it fires those synapses, right? That we were just talking about.
Have you all ever fallen in love in your dreams?
God, yes. I've told you that one where I had a dream where it lasted an entire year. I woke up, went to sleep, literally 365 days. I was in high school and I met a girl. We fell in love. She broke up with me the day before graduation, the whole thing. And I woke up and I had lost a year relationship with a girl that I had never met. And I cried for like a week because I was in grief.
Yeah, I've been there. That was the origin of my apples and oranges metaphor. Hold on, stop paying attention to me. I feel weird.
So
got quiet and weird, and it's not my fault.
There's also a you talk about the one device. There's also I've seen things you can wear like over your chest and stuff where you're playing a video game and you get shot, like it'll make the thing like you're being shot or whatever. So I mean, look at the movie Ready Player One, right? I mean, it's the guy goes to a secret band. He's got a treadmill set up, where he can run around in this world and stuff. I mean, I really think, in fact, I saw I think it was shared as like a joke or an advertisement, but like 5G is not even rolled out yet, and they're already planning for 6G. And 6G will be like you'll put on a pair of smart glasses and you'll see the physical world, but you put on a pair of smart glasses and you'll see like an overlay of all these other things. Like
we're already moving into Web3. I mean, we're getting into these new things, and hopefully, Josh, shameless plug, but on our show for the debrief Tech Talk, we're really hoping to review some of these devices that really deal with the metaverse and this new style of VR and AR. And Santosh, both you guys know, when I worked for Lineage, that software tech company, we were developing AR and VR for the military and different things like that. And I saw things, that was 2016, that I already knew. The stuff I'm seeing now is not new to me because they were already using it. It just hadn't become commercial yet. And and just like you said, that stuff that's out there, the porn industry, you want to go to like the big porn conference in Las Vegas.
A galactic porn store? What would that even be like?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. And it's like, that would be amazing.
The sex toys could probably kill you.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm like, what is Quark really selling on Deep Space Nine?
Good times.
Do you want do you want the Deep Space 12? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because 9's not enough. Like,
I thought a chain of 12, not a 12 of 1.
The car, the hard Asian. You know what I mean?
Just about to try and fucking dad me on some sex jokes. Is that where that fucking hand and voice came from? Right there. That's what I'm telling you about.
Can I go back to the hard Asian? I thought that was good.
I'm gonna have to change. I'm gonna have to change the rating on this video. So, anyways.
No, it's fine. But yeah, it's like I don't know. And so, is there what at what point does it become real? Does it stop being real love? Right? If everything is in VR and you've got machines that are feeling her fingers across your chest or different things like that. And you're feeling everything, and at what point
is that
it doesn't stop. Love is adaptive and intelligent, and it grows.
But is that
evolves?
If your relationship is purely physical, even if it's metaphysical in nature, is that love?
Well, and then what about? I mean, you look at I'm going to bring up Tasha Yar and Data, but an android. Because what if you fall in love with an NPC?
What is so bad about it being love? Like, is that love? You say it like that, right? Like it's a judgment.
I don't know.
It has to be of a certain quality. But anywhere on the spectrum of it, like it could fall somewhere.
I guess it's because you think about the Siren song, right? That men can be tricked into love. And so, and I'm not just saying men, I'm just saying in that particular story, but this idea that you can be fooled into love, I guess is what I mean by that.
And the love spell.
Yeah, the love spell.
And people,
now it's technology.
And Stefan, you've heard it, I'm sure. Here it comes. Are you ready? Back in our Christianity days, you're not in love.
See, not me.
You're not in love. You're in lust.
Mhm. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, let's excuse me. Let's take just like I think Santosh was hinting at earlier. Take the physicality out of it completely, and you're just in a VR environment with no flesh-eating light. There are no mechanical things that's making you physically feel anything, and you're literally just conversating with someone. You're all of these things. What if, even if it is an NPC, right? I don't know. And then of course that gets scary because now we're getting into the crazy stuff of like how people pretend to be somebody on Facebook and they're luring people. That's a whole different ball of wax. I don't know.
Well, and that's what about robots doing it to us when there are plenty of humans that do it with malicious intent.
Yeah, and then just like you said, if you watched the new Matrix movie, like in every iteration, Trinity and Neo were in love. Even when the
spoilers,
when not really, dude.
Yeah, it is. Come on,
they were in love in all forms.
Spoilers. I could say that of just using the first 3 movies, right? It's like, but
you already said it for the 4th,
so I don't care. Nobody. I'm not gonna say that. Anyways,
all of our fans are already on top of that movie.
But it's like they even try to split, people apart. Again, and this kind of ties this all together. Past lives is kind of a way to look at the Matrix too, right? Are these past lives, and were they always destined to be together, or is it programmed, or what is it? Is it all these things? And I think that line's going to get blurred once love does start to take place more in the metaverse than it does in the regular universe.
And I introduced a topic not on your list, but it's kind of related.
Tell us first, and then we'll decide.
So the movie Hitchcock,
with
Will Smith,
yeah,
him and his, so he's like a superhero, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like got an agent, and he's married to a woman. Well, turns out she's a superhero too, and her and Will Smith have always been together, but they only have superpowers when they're away from each other, when they're separated. But when they come together, their superpowers goes away, and that's when they're vulnerable to be hurt or whatever. So, is there a situation where,
right, like Lucifer was
exactly
vulnerable?
I was going to say it's like the Lucifer trope,
right? When he was around the detective, he was vulnerable, and that's what made him love her.
So, I mean,
I think it's one of those forces that's too big, like life, like trying to design and say what is life.
Yeah.
And
so
that's blurry.
So what I was
going to ask is true love, is real love being vulnerable?
True love?
Being vulnerable.
Is it being vulnerable? I don't know, man, because you don't have to have vulnerability to have true love either. But does it make you vulnerable?
You don't think you got to be vulnerable with your partner?
I don't know. I don't know. All I can think of is myself, right?
But you're opening yourself. You're putting yourself out there with your partner. You're being vulnerable.
But we don't know that other people do that.
I think my opinion is that the two are tied together.
Is vulnerability a point of view? Because if you're in love with an NPC, right, we're moving back to the metaverse, you're not vulnerable to the NPC because they're an NPC.
Do you know they're an NPC?
Feeling a little Scythian tone right now, right?
Right.
Do you know they're an NPC?
Well, yeah.
How do you know?
Because you're in the metaverse, you know what the NPCs are and you know who the normal people are. But you've gone every day to this house in the metaverse where there's a woman that cooks her fucking food every day.
Are we talking about Free Guy right now?
I've never seen Free Guy.
Awesome. Free Guy.
It's an awesome movie.
Oh damn it! Josh, you popped in my thought bubble. I had a good one. Damn it. Free Guy was good.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think love is also
one more
personal.
time and you get a free sandwich.
I don't know.
Nobody said it's a many splendored thing yet. I mean,
no.
Come on.
L is for the way you look. But I think it's personal too. I think there is no true definition. Because again, is vulnerability real vulnerability, or is it something you decide too? Right? Only you can know how you're vulnerable. I don't know.
Layers of vulnerability, right?
I don't know.
All right, Joe Pesci.
All right. Whatever. All right. So that's pretty much what I got. But I got one final question for you guys. Okay. Well, two. It's a two-parter. I got one final question.
So point A and point B. Okay.
All right. This one's for fun. The first question is, do you think that you could fall in love with yourself from another dimension?
No.
Yes. Totally. Because multiple infinite dimensions and possibility, there statistically has to be one where you're going to. Logically, you have to agree that it mathematically exists.
Okay.
And so, Josh, why do you say no?
So I'll say that mathematically I would
That was
agree.
me trying to talk to Josh.
So mathematically I would agree, but I guess in real, I just opposites attract. If I'm me everywhere else, I don't know that I'm going to be attracted to me everywhere else.
Let me tell you, in the case of me and my wife, opposites attract. But I've also been in love with someone who's just like me as well. I mean, J-Pope.
I'm not going to get too personal here, but you're also not still with that person.
I never got with them,
okay.
But I wanted to. But I mean, just saying, it's like, and being with someone doesn't define love, Josh. I can still love someone whether I'm with them or not. So obviously for me, I'm straight, so I would want a female version of myself. So that's, but I'm not even getting into that aspect of it. It's I don't know.
It's for fun.
Because it's like, it is fun. But it's like, I don't know. Is that, because it's another dimension? I don't know. But
yes, I would have a multi-dimensional orgy with myself.
Now, I already knew you would, because we've talked about this for years.
Yeah, right. My stance has remained solid on this. Yes.
I knew that a long time ago.
There's the movie with Jet Li. It's called The One, where the other Jet Lis, going through and wiping out Jet Lis to gain their power. So, I mean,
speaking of which, there's a new movie with Michelle Yeoh coming out.
Yeah, I saw that. It's kind of similar.
And she's going to be in that show coming up. The some sort of precursor show, the Cimmerils or something they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways, I was going to say, if they ever make a porn version of The One, Santosh could be.
But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's
that.
something I've thought about quite a bit, because I do like myself a lot. And a lot of times I do look for qualities that are just like me on things. And it's like, what if I found this dimensional person that is me? She's female, so I'm going to be attracted to her because I like myself. And so it's like, she's got everything, but maybe she doesn't have the qualities that I dislike about myself, right? So it's like, here's all these I don't know. I think I would. Yeah, I'm with Santosh on this. I think I would and could.
So let me ask you this:
but would it be weird making out with yourself? Like, that's the weird.
How is it not just a grand evolved form of masturbation, making love to yourself?
So is there a form of you that's not like you in this dimension?
Of course.
So would you like that person?
No. I don't want some opposite person that looks and smells like me. All right, last question.
This is the part B.
This is part B, but it's a separate question. But it deals with dimensions again. That's why it's part B. Is it cheating if you accidentally slept with your spouse from another dimension, but you didn't know?
Ooh, how are you going to pull a Flash on us? Like,
not even Flash, but
I thought Barry and Iris would have a fight over this.
Oh, I know, but I was thinking Fringe too, because that was a big thing. Because the other chick showed up and they slept together, and it caused a huge issue. So, would it be cheating if your spouse from another dimension showed up, but you did not know? And hell, they may not even have known, because they may not have known that they shifted over. Right. And you guys are so similar that you wouldn't even know. But at the end, after everything was over, your wife walks in. Is that cheating?
I think it depends on the relationship beforehand, because there's a whole lot of like monogamous presupposition in what you just said.
Well, yeah.
Also,
I'm speaking from a monogamous point of view.
Also, I think
And a
On
cis
purpose.
hetero one.
I think the harder sell would be like, what? It's you from a different dimension. I mean, I think that's the harder sell would be the dimensional
Yeah.
piece.
No,
Babe,
the-
I thought one of you was super hot. Why wouldn't I think another one
Right.
was?
Would you, hey, babe, would you fall in love with yourself? Because we can do 3.
Right?
Well, I was going to say, well, would you do
Two
that?
husbandos for the price of one.
So I don't know. I always think about that, and it's something that's come up in multiverse type movies, or TV shows before, where there's always that, spouse or lover that shows back up, and you didn't know. Sometimes
I'm
it's
just saying,
nefarious.
like,
Sometimes
this
it's
is,
not.
you forget this is our Valentine's episode, and you just like shot an arrow into
Yeah.
people's hearts.
Can you be held
Not-
accountable?
Not like a
Like,
good Cupid arrow.
like that you even have a relationship to be cheating on. Like that's a big assumption you made from the get-go. Some of us are lonely and bitter about it at times.
Well, my question was specific to that. This is not a Palentine's Day episode. This is a Valentine's Day episode. It's all VD here. So, but
yeah,
uh,
from that flesh-eating light.
yeah, from the flesh-eating light that the alien gave to you after
Yeah.
you slept with Stan Romanek.
That cosmic clap.
Yep, and yeah,
silicone
David,
scoundrel.
so get
What?
your David Huggins on. That's all I got, guys. That's all my topics,
All your
questions,
loving.
all that, things to think about in terms of love. But the biggest one for me though is the metaverse, because I think we're gonna really start to see that here in the next 5 years. We're gonna really start to see that become a thing, and I bet you a political talking point that the right will start to talk about, just like you said. Next thing you
is
know,
your
they're gonna be
marriage valid
marrying
in the metaverse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and to kind of go on from that a little bit, there are people who can be addicted to porn, and that's just watching people porn, right?
Oh
But-
yeah. Oh,
But like, so
there are
imagine-
certain people that take that personal.
Oh,
Like,
for
don't even want their
example-
partner watching porn.
one of my favorite movies is a movie called Brainstorm, and it's got Christopher Walken and Natalie Wood and some other people in it. And Christopher Walken develops essentially a virtual reality machine, but what it does is it records. It can record actual experiences. So like, let's say you're a race car driver, you can record that. Somebody can put this helmet on that they've created, and you literally are there, as opposed to just seeing it in VR and you're like, whoa, it feels crazy. It connects to your brain because it's Brainstorm, as if you are really literally there. And one of the things they talk about are the porn applications, because you literally, your body, your mind, everything will feel as if you're sleeping with someone. And one of the developers he recorded having sex with this woman and then looped the orgasm part.
Oh, I know about this movie.
He didn't put a safety on it, and it ended up killing him. He dehydrated. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. He ended up dying from it. But yeah, I mean that really happened not in real life, but in that movie.
In that movie, that really happened.
And that happened. This was 1983, and that was already something they were talking about. So.
This movie should not
Well,
be
what about-
confused with Orgasmo.
And what about rights to your own image? Like,
Right.
if somebody,
Yeah.
what would you feel cool with somebody having sex with a digital copy of you without you
Oh
knowing?
well, look at the deep fakes. That is
Yeah.
a huge thing right now. The deep fakes, because now you can get your face to look like Brad Pitt's, or vice versa, or they're developing this technology where you could look like you're having sex with Brad Pitt or whatever.
I'll tell you about one of my favorite TikToks after this.
Okay. So, great topics today, Stefan.
You're welcome.
Yes, bravo, sir, bravo.
Everybody who has someone special in their life, enjoy these topics. If you don't or haven't quite met that person yet, I'm sure
You're
there's somebody
single
out there.
and bitter. Fuck us.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wait,
so
hold on, wait. I didn't mean it like that.
and that's okay. I think in April is Josh's topic, and so it's Easter month, so he'll be talking about Christianity. So,
Right, resurrection all day long. Can we just go ahead and say he's gonna want to talk about the Left Behind series and
Yeah.
just,
No.
prophesy?
I've had a resurrection before.
You live in New Mexico. Don't talk about a resurrection.
No, actually, for my topic for April, I want to talk about the philosophy behind the Matrix.
Philosophy behind the Matrix.
Cool.
But anyways, that's April.
Yeah, that's 2 months from now.
I've held on to one so long I don't want to do it anymore. Do you all know what filk music is?
No.
Sci-fi folk music. That was going to be my topic. But I'm over it, and it's too far away. We got to do Josh's next. But I thought that'd be a fun one also for everybody to dip their toes into, and then see if we have same tastes when it comes to this folk music.
Oh, I'm in. So, but anyways, now we're chatting. So
yeah, I figured we already did.
The Stuvians don't need to hear this.
This is what they pay for.
So, thanks everybody for tuning in again for another fantastic episode of Astral Stew. And feel free to comment your opinions or theories on any of the things that we've talked about here today. And
don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button.
Smash it.
Click that bell. Bling bling.
That sounds very excited.
That was for Johnny Tenney. So, Johnny L. Tenney. He loves when people say smash that subscribe button. So.
Oh my god, we need to stop because now I want to talk smack about somebody and I don't want that recorded.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.